All right, late hours on Wall Street are the stuff of industry legend, but in a post-pandemic world, banks are still figuring out how to get people to return to the office. Here with more is Alexandra Semenova. Alexandra, so you've been digging into this. Who's back at the office? Who's not back?
Yeah, well, guys, earlier this week, headlines that two of Wall Street's most prominent investment banks, Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, are lifting their COVID protocols, drew attention to where these institutions stand with their return to office policies. We're also hearing this morning that Jefferies is calling for people to be back on a consistent basis. And the takeaway here is that there's still a lot of ambiguity about what the official rules are when it comes to coming back to the office on Wall Street. So the New York Post first reported earlier this week that Goldman was lifting its vaccine requirement and masking and testing rules. And we did obtain that official memo. And, although it doesn't specifically say that, people are required to return, this does appear to be an effort to remove any remaining hurdles that might be preventing staff from being back there 5 days a week. I'm told by sources that this isn't much of a change in terms of the expectations for, what staff have been doing. People have been back there 5 days a week this whole time for the most part, although some teams are establishing their own hybrid models, which is a big no-no for CEO David Solomon, who, of course, is very anti-work from home, called it an aberration. So this is kind of the last remaining hurdle here to get people back fully. And I reached out to other banks as well to see where they stand. And the language is quite loose when it comes to returning to the office. So Citibank, I'm told that most colleagues are expected to be there 3 days a week, and they do have some sort of hybrid model in place. JP Morgan hasn't changed its rules since Jamie Dimon's annual shareholder letter, where he described a situation where they have about 50% of the workforce on site and some doing some sort of hybrid remote work model. Morgan Stanley also did lift its COVID requirements. I'm told by sources that the expectation there is to be there 4 days a week, but pressure is definitely building up. So, there's no official language here where the banks are saying you either come back or you're fired. Jefferies said, for example, that they're not going to be checking badge swipes, but the pressure is on for a full return to Wall Street.
Alexandra Semenova, good reporting. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.